Hello, and welcome to this week's episode of The Hard Choice. Simple steps for showing up. My name is Brad Draper. Do I got a good one today? I'm grateful for you. I'm grateful for this opportunity to share of my experience so I can help you progress, so I can walk down this path with you. We are in this together. So earlier this week, let's see, what day is today? Today is Wednesday as of the recording of this episode. And earlier this week on Monday was a particularly rough day. It was one of those days where things just did not seem to be going the way I had planned them to. I'm not sure if you've ever had those. Maybe your life doesn't have that. Pretty sure it does. We've all been through these days, right? We've all been through those times when it's just exceptionally difficult. And as you just sit there, you kind of just want to cry. That's pretty much what you want to do. You want to curl up into a ball and cry. And this was one of those days. My agreement with a partner was not going as planned, and they kind of broke our agreements. So I wasn't getting paid in the fashion that, or the amount that I thought I was for the effort that was involved. And I was in the markets, and I'm in the wrong position for the markets, and just a lot of things that were deemed wrong. I was doing the wrong thing, receiving the wrong thing. It didn't go as planned. I had an expectation, and that's really what happened. I had a particular expectation. That expectation was not met, and because it was not met, I had an emotional response to it. What did I do? How did I act? What pulled me through that situation? Well, to be honest, I went and took a nap. It was one of those things where it was about noon, and I was pretty fed up, pretty tired, pretty energetically low. I'm sure you have felt this before. And I decided to go take a nap. Yeah, that's what I did. So I slept. And while I was taking a nap, about 20-minute nap, went up my bed. I had a sore back that morning. I tweaked my back doing back barbell squats. So I was in physical pain, so I went and laid in my bed to release the pain in my lower back. 20 minutes in the bed, and it was definitely when I woke up was that thought of, I really don't want to get up right now. I would rather just stay in bed today. I would rather just let today pass. I will start anew tomorrow because today basically sucked. So what did I do? I created a plan. I followed my own steps, right? I do the things that I say. The things you have heard me say for the last 70-something episodes. You set the plan, you execute the plan, and you win. Where you focus, you find. Your thoughts precede your actions, and your actions precede your opportunities. So while laying there, I meditated. Got my mind clear. Got it focused on what I want, not what is currently happening. And I made a plan on how I was going to attack the challenges that were coming that week by this Friday. I had to do things and set them in motion to ensure that bills were met, that payments were made on time, that my commitments to other people continued as status quo. And as I did that, I received a call, laying there in my bed, from a friend that I have not spoken to in months. I don't know, 8 or 9 months, maybe longer. He calls me and says, hey, I'm going to be in Utah this coming Thursday. I have an event, and one of our speakers just bowed out. Can you please fill in? I need you to do a 1-hour talk on mindset. Absolutely. Definitely. Now, what triggered my friend to call me? What triggered the thought of me when he had a space to fill, when he had a need? Who did he know he could call and ensure that space was filled? Think about that. You're hosting an event And in 3 days' time, that much notice, 72-hour notice, one of your speakers bails out. They bailed due to a family situation, a family emergency. So you can't blame them. What did I do to cause my friend to call me? For one, I've always shown up. Every time we've been together, I've shown up. I've been there wholly, present, available. I have done what I told him I said I would do, when I said I would do it. I am reliable. I am honorable. And I am energetically high. He needed that. I did previous work to allow the space that was preceded by a thought. And in this particular situation, I was laying there thinking, and that thinking caused me to take action on a few things. And that action caused the opportunity to speak and help my friend in his time of need. And then I got up and went to my computer and started working on the plan that I had created. And I had an email. Hey, I want you to speak in August at my event in California. Can you do it? Absolutely. For those that don't know, speaking is a path that I want to go down. I want to public speak. I'm seeking opportunities to publicly speak. So what must I do? I must take action. And before that action, I must have a thought. Things do not always go the way you planned. There are days that are just rough. They're just tiring. They just suck. That does not mean they're bad days. Do not confuse what I am saying. This is not a good day or bad day type of situation. There's no such thing. Days are just days. They're energetically neutral. The only energy they have is the energy you place on them. And you deem it good or bad based on your expectation. If you place an expectation and the expectation is not met, most people would call that a bad day. If you place an expectation and the expectation is met or exceeded, most people would call that a good or a great day. At the end of the day, lots of days, that was just a decision. So I woke up Tuesday morning and decided today will be an amazing day. And it was. It was fantastic. I went on a glorious mountain bike ride and sat for sunrise at the top of the mountain. I got to go be at a friend's event and network with some of my best friends and even meet some amazing people that I would not have met had I not gone to that event. And I got to go with my wife to that event, which makes it even more special. I was able to spend time with my sons and my wife and build and grow and bond. I wrote that talk, right? That speech that I am giving as of the time of this recording tomorrow. I made the slide deck for that talk, for that audience. I curated what I wanted to say. Now, what gave me the opportunity to speak on such a short notice, week of? It's the preparation. It's the continuous, monotonous studying of the mind. I'm speaking on mindset, specifically to door-to-door sales guys in the Christmas light and permanent light space. That's a pretty tough space. It's a pretty competitive space, but it is a worthy and valuable space. I am so grateful to have the opportunity to share some wisdom, some thoughts, some ideas, giving a thought worth sharing. That's the slogan of TEDx. A thought worth sharing. And a thought shared is giving a piece of me. That is why I do this podcast. I give a piece of myself to you. And while you listen, you receive, as long as you are listening. This opportunity presented itself from a day that most people would call bad, from a day that was energetically low. It was rough. It was tiring. And I truly wanted to lay down, take a nap, and not get up. But that's not how you win. You can't win by laying idly around. You win by getting out of bed and doing the things you said you would do, by moving forward. Sometimes we want to pull the covers over our head when we wake up and just say, oh my goodness, what does today have in store? But you can choose to jump out of bed excited for the opportunities and the experiences that you are about to go through that will curate and make you a better person, that will get you closer to your goals one step at a time. You see, I've been thinking a lot about Indiana Jones and the Temple of Doom. We all know the scene when he has the step of faith, the walk of faith across the vast abyss. And then he sits and he throws sand and realizes it's a glass walkway that was not seen, but it is indeed there. And he takes this infamous step, right? And then he walks across. But this is what you must understand. In real life, in your life, there is a deep, dark void right in front of you. There's nothing there to catch you. It is truly a void. There is no glass walkway. There is no invisible walkway. There is no walkway. It is truly a void. Yet you must still step forward, knowing that your foot will be caught by God. You must have the faith to know you will be carried by angels. As Peter walked on water. Is it Peter? Now my brain is questioning myself. Pretty sure it's Peter. Walked on water. It's not possible to walk on water unless you were supported by an outside source, like a God. You must walk on water to get to where you're trying to go. And that takes an extreme act of faith. That takes stepping forward, even though it's scary. Even though it's storming and raging outside, you must still walk to the ship, your final destination, in this stretch of the road. But that only comes one step at a time, and your foot being caught at the very moment before it falls into oblivion. That is what you must go through to get where you're trying to go. You cannot have one foot in safety to get there. You have to be all in. It's not always going to be fun. You will have to make some calls you don't want to make because they are not a pleasant experience, but they are a growing experience. They will form you into who you must become. And then I'll end with this final thought, a thought that was given to me today, considering I have never considered. I was speaking of a friend, and this friend has been through a lot of life tragedy. He's had a lot of hardship. And in referencing this friend to a new friend, this new friend quickly responded with, God must really love him. God must really love him. And I sat back and I said, what did you just say? He said, God must really love him to allow him to go through the challenges so he can become who he knows he's destined to become. You see, your amount of struggle is in direct proportion to the amount God loves you, which is also in direct proportion to how much you can become. So when you go through these trials, these hardships, these tribulations, this chaos, recognize it is building you because of how great you will become because of those trials. As I've said before, we pray for a window or a door, and then trials come and we complain and say, why me? That door, that window is the trial. The trial is the door. That's the way to the other side. As I said before, that is the Rainbow Bridge. This has been on my mind a lot lately, and it is curious how it has all come to a head. But that is what I have for you guys. That's what I wanted to share with you. I'm grateful for you. Continue this conversation with your friends and your family. The only way this show grows is if you share it. I don't run any marketing. I don't run any ads. I do not pay to have this show reach the ends of the earth. And yet it does because you share it. I'm grateful for you. You can find me on socials, Mr. Brad Draper. Like this thing, subscribe to it, download it for future listenings. Until next week, I love you guys. Bye.